A customer sent in their Vizio mainboard for a P65-E1 model TV, and we have it in our test set right now. When I power it on, I get a quick little flash from our standby light, but that's it, nothing else. If I power it on, I get no picture on screen, no backlights, as if it was dead. The customer did state they tried to repair the board by reflowing one of the processors underneath the heatsink, but unfortunately that did not fix their fault. So let's take a closer look at that mainboard and see what's going on. I have my TV disconnected from power, and we're gonna do some resistance checks. I'm going to put my negative lead to chassis ground, and one of the spots I like to check are the inductors. So we're gonna start with this one, and we get a beep, which indicates we actually have a short. So we're getting 1 ohm or so. Let's check this one. No short. Let's check this one. So it's beeping, but it's not a short because we're still getting 45 ohms. This meter will beep under 50 ohms, but 45 ohms is not technically a short. Over here, we do have a short because yes, it is beeping, but it's also showing us an extremely low resistance. So we're less than 1 ohm right now. Let's check this one. No beep, so it's not shorted. And we can check the others, but I'm sure they're okay. If you found the video helpful or useful so far, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Now, something I do want to mention is the short check we did will not apply to 90% of the cases. The reason we did it is because the board was tampered with prior to being sent in. Most of the time, the issue is the cracked solder joints between the processor chips and the PCB located underneath the heatsink. So a reflow will usually take care of it, a reball or chip replacement. In this case, the customer had tampered with it, so we wanted to make sure that there were no problems with the work that was done prior, and unfortunately it seems like we did find some issues. So let's take a closer look at our workbench and see what we can find. I have my customer's defective board over here and a known good board over to the left. So let's do some comparisons in resistance. So again, 1 lead to ground, the other to the inductor, and a good reading is supposed to be 191 ohms. Let's compare off of this one. This one was 0 ohms or less than 1 ohm, and it still is, even out of circuit. Let's do a couple other checks. 57 ohms, 51 ohms, so that's okay. 188 ohms, 161, that's close enough. 36 ohms, 38 ohms, 1.5 kilo ohms, 1.5 kilo ohms, 0.87 kilo ohms, 0.92 kilo ohms. So that's also close enough. 120 ohms and 122 ohms, also close enough. So the only one I'm concerned about is this inductor over here. If we flip the boards over, so actually what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back in beep mode. So when I get a short, we get a beep. I'm gonna put 1 lead on this inductor over here, and we're gonna try and find where it pops up on the back. So let's see, I'm putting my lead on this capacitor, and we get 3 to 1 ohm. So that does mean that that inductor is in parallel with some of the capacitors right behind this BGA chip. What that tells me is the BGA chip right over here underneath the heatsink is shorted and needs to be replaced. Now, the customer did actually send me a picture pointing to that exact processor, telling me that that processor was the one that they tried to reflow in order to fix the board. And that is the one that we're currently finding a short on. So most likely an issue occurred during the reflow process. Either they went too hot, they tried to probe the chip while it was molten and cause some sort of shorts. So we're gonna need to remove the chip, make sure the shorts are gone, and then replace it. Now that we've cleaned up the processor, we can use our BGA rework machine to remove it. What the rework machine is going to do is heat up the chip both from the top and the bottom of the circuit board at the same time until we reach the solder's melting point. At that point, we can go ahead and remove the chip and clean off all that old solder, and we'll recheck for our shorts. our BGA chip has been successfully removed. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if our short is now gone. Again, in resistance mode, we'll have one lead to ground. We're going to use this one here. And if we take a look, we now have 15 mega ohms. Check the other side. It should be the same, of course. And again, 15 mega ohms. So our short is definitely gone. Now it's a much higher reading than it should be, and that's because we don't have a chip here. So when we install our replacement chip, we should see that number go back down to that, I believe it was 46, 50 or so ohms. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll see what happens. The reason we want to make sure that the short was gone is to ensure that A, our diagnostic was correct and that processor chip was the source of our short, and of course B, to make sure that there wasn't any other components that were maybe in parallel that were also shorted. Now that we've confirmed our shorts are gone, we can go ahead and install our new chip. All right, our new chip has been installed, so let's do a final check. So again, we'll use our ground over here, and let's take a measurement. All right, and now we have 54 ohms. So we got rid of our short, and we have our new chip installed. I'm gonna put our thermal pad back on. We'll go ahead and put some new thermal paste. Try and spread it around best we can. That should be good. If you have a Vizio mainboard from a P65-E1 model TV that is malfunctioning, you can send it in for repair. We have a flat rate repair service with a 1-year warranty. We'll have links in the video description below. All right, now we can live test it back in the TV. Okay, I have my mainboard plugged back into the TV set. Let's power it on. And we still got a quick flash from our standby light. Let's wait a second here. Normally after a couple of seconds, it's supposed to start appearing, glowing, and then just fading out, but we're not getting that. So that makes sense actually, and the reason it makes sense is because all we've done so far is remove the shorted component, which was not the actual repair. So that processor chip, while it was shorted, replacing it is not going to fix the issue since that was not the original issue to begin with. Typically with these main boards, the main processor chip down here is the one that needs to be reflowed, reballed, or replaced. And since we haven't done that yet, it does make sense that our main board still doesn't work. Okay, we have prepped our main processor right over here. We're going to put some flux and reflow it. We have our main board back in the TV set. We're gonna power it on. And I just saw the flash. We're supposed to get our standby light now, and we're not getting any standby light. So one thing I did actually already do off screen is live test it post reflow, and we still had the same issue. So we did off screen replace the processor on the lower BGA as well, and unfortunately we still have at this moment the exact same faults. It is possible that the chip that was shorted may have caused other damage, perhaps to some of the RAM bricks that are around the chip. That could be part of the reason we're still having issues. It could be a software fault, there could be something else going on that we're not aware of at this moment, but for this main board specifically, we are going to call it beyond economical repair, and we're going to just send out a replacement to our customer. This is also a bit of a warning to let you know that if you do attempt to repair your board with a reflow or reball and you don't have the experience or proper equipment, there is a high chance that you might damage the board beyond repair. Our success rate typically does drastically diminish whenever someone does try to fix it before they send it in. So at this moment, we are going to be sending a replacement to them. If you do find the video has been useful or helpful in any way, make sure to leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.